You're welcome to News Echoes, where news rebound as analysis so that you might have an informed opinion. And at the end of the day, you decide. My name is Shegun Johnson, and I'm glad to be back home. And there's so many things to discuss. I left a few days ago, and the Prime Minister in Britain has been changed. Same thing happened a few weeks ago. I left for a few days, and they've changed the king, they've changed the queen, they've changed everybody. Well, I'm still back and I'm still alive. And today's show is going to be one of the greatest we've ever had because we have a young diva joining us in the team. Everyone is excited here, and I'm sure you'll be excited as well. So, welcome with me, Anita, all the way from Lagos. Hello, Anita.
Wow. Good morning, Mr. Shago. I sincerely appreciate the invitation to be here and to work with you all. I'm so short of words because I'm still, looking for the right words to express my excitement because I see it as a rare privilege working with you all. Thank you so much for
Oh,
having me.
well, I'm sure we're going to have a good time in the weeks ahead. We have all the way from Toronto, our own man, Sir George Chiku. Sir George, you're welcome back to the program.
Well, we thank you, Dr. Shegun, and want to welcome everyone from around the world that is watching us today. It's a wonderful day to live. Thank you.
Honestly, so. And from the seat of power in Abuja, Dr. Osita Anyemeka. How are you, sir?
Very well, thank
Are
you.
you
Welcome back.
okay? Oh, thank you very much. We'll be having more talks on what happened there while I was looking out for you. And far away in Milan is Mark. Mark George. Mark, you're welcome to the program.
I hail my big brother. You made me
Mm.
enter your big shoes last week, and that shoe was so big, it was heavy on me too.
You
But
must have handled it well. You must have handled it well because
oh
thousands
yeah,
and thousands of people were watching,
yes,
and I was afraid I was losing my job because thousands and thousands. Well, let's start from the beginning. They say we start from A before we get to B. We have a beautiful, brilliant lady joining the team, and she's in Lagos. And I wish Diva Obukso is on the set today. But there's this lady, and the young ones are coming up there, overtaking us, which we are very happy about. And we have Anita with us. Anita, please tell us a bit of yourself. Our viewers will be willing to know you, what you do, how you do them, and how your name has gone far. Some people even call you Oprah Winfrey of Africa. Come on, tell us more about yourself.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much
Mhm.
for that amazing introduction. Hello, world. I keep saying, hey, girl, take your power back because it was in the place of me talking about ladies to take their power back that Ambassador Legend Mac found me. And it means a lot to just add value to humanity, no matter how little. It does not matter whether you're getting the applause, whether you're getting all the compliments. What matters is the fact that you are doing what is impacting lives and the world is watching. That's the bottom line. Okay, I am a broadcaster, a brand influencer, and a brand ambassador. My journey in the media is been over 13 years. I've worked with different media houses, including Biscon Television, Lagos Television, Prime TV. I did a breakfast show with a channel called Black Drum last year, but it was just a 1 year thing. And I, went into doing my thing. But Live Chat with Nita started 2018, an amazing platform. In as much as I've worked with different media houses, I decided to do something that I can be more expressive because when you are under an umbrella, there are rules, there are do's and don'ts. So I just wanted a place where I can connect, directly with my audience. Let's talk heart to heart.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
started I started a magazine called Achievers Diary. Achievers Diary to celebrate
Mm.
record breaks in Africa. So at the course of that, there was a particular article I wrote about how people handle rejection. And I
Mm.
wanted some kind of true life story. I don't want to bring up imaginary stories on how people handle rejection. So 2018, January 30th to be precise, I went on a live show on Facebook Live to talk about it. And I was amazed. The turnout, how people were even telling me their true life story. The second episode, which was the following day, somebody reached out and said her brother wants to sell his kidney because he feels rejected. He's gone through so much,
Mm.
and his friends came
Wow.
back from Malaysia, yes, and said the way forward is sell your kidney and make some millions. And I put that out again live, and people were reaching out till the extent that he got help from professionals. And today, as we
Wow.
speak, this guy is doing so well. Yes, he got himself back. He rediscovered his purpose. And that was when I knew that this is beyond me. There is
Anita,
something behind Nita. Okay,
Anita,
forward back
Nigeria,
to this
I was
day.
just about to say
Yes.
Nigeria cannot thank you enough. Nigeria cannot thank you enough. And these are the kind of people we want in our midst. I mean, in the center of the Nigerian society. We've been waiting for people like you to lead us. In the Western world, they look for younger people to lead them, just like old men can't go to Olympics, but the old men pay for young people to go to Olympics. I think that's where we are right now. We're looking for young people to lead us. So I'm sure I'm speaking for the rest of the team to say you are most welcome and we'll be knowing more of you. I'm very sure. Is that okay, gentlemen?
Yes,
Yes, it
sir.
is.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Uh, all right.
That's
Let's
why we're
talk about
gentlemen.
the let's talk about the Nigerian debt. It was a governor of Edo State, Obaseki, a few days ago, who said that Nigeria has been plundered, looted, and now sunk into 60 trillion naira debt, which means my generation may not be able to pay it, but my children's children will have to be paying it back without even seeing what they have done with the money. And he was saying that it is not right for the present party ruling in Nigeria to continue because they'll be drawing us into more and more debt. They have estimated about 18.8 trillion naira budget, but about 11 trillion naira will be borrowed out of it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not looking healthy at all. But they tell us there is a good borrowing, good loan, and it can only be good if it is paying for itself. But here we are. But let's listen to you. Let me start from Toronto. Sir George, what do you think?
Well, I have said this before and I repeat it again. You know a dead fish when it starts thinking from the head, unfortunately. What we're seeing here is a total and complete and absolute manifestation of a failed government. And there is nothing that we can say about that. Now, a lot of things are being discovered. One of the candidates was mentioning the amount of money that we could have been raising, if oil was being sold equitably and fairly, and how the debts that we have could have been taken care of. As of today, we heard the Minister of Finance, Madam Zainab, saying that we have been plunged into such a place where in 2023, 65% of our revenue will be used to service our loans.
Wow.
Can you imagine Nigeria of all countries in the world? 65% of our revenue will be used. Now, the question that we need to start asking is because when there is smoke, if you see smoke somewhere, there is fire somewhere. What happened for the past few years? We know about the oil bunkering, but also we know that we are selling our oil in an international market. And we know also that if the money that we are getting is fairly being used, equitably and fairly, we will not be borrowing from outside the country. Are there people in Nigeria that currently mortgaging Nigeria to other countries? This is one question we need to ask.
But let me ask you, out of the 218 million Nigerians, how many of them are aware that the future of their children and grandchildren have been mortgaged? Do you think they are aware?
They are not aware. And if they are aware, they feel helpless, they feel useless, because what has happened to the millions, there has been billions that has been stolen from our country. When they are discovered, we make some noise for a few weeks, and it's all gone. Where is Zainab and all the money? And all these looted billions upon billions, where are they today? The question still remains. Okay, the IMF is talking about helping Nigeria. They're talking about helping Nigeria, to fairly, manage our debts. Nigeria does not need the IMF if our internal finances are being well taken care of. So today, in 3 months, our debts rose 1.24 trillion naira. Can you imagine that? 3 months.
In 2 months.
3 months.
3 months. Okay. Sir George, I'll come back to you definitely. Dr. Osita, Sir George says something very crucial there. He said the people are helpless. It was this Oxford professor who last week wrote that the Nigerian society is entrapped by the consensus of the elite. So the elite sit down somewhere and say, Emilio, come. Or it's your turn now. You go, then I go. And the people are entrapped by that. And he put up some economic theory to show that the people cannot even stop these elites. And he proved it from an academic point of view. And Sir George just said, yes, they are helpless. This is a real situation.
I think my position vis-a-vis Nigerian situation is just one: lack of education. You ask the question now. Dr. Shegun.
Yeah.
Do Nigerians understand that this amount of money is being owed? Do they know what it means? The fact is that we know what loans are. We know what indebtedness will mean. But do we understand what Nigerians borrowing mean to us in the next 100 years? No, we don't. We don't know it. So because we don't know it, we are still there carrying flags, refurbishing ideas. Even on social media, we're crossing ourselves. We are being angry. We are being arrogant. We don't know what is happening to us. Let me explain what's happening to us now. It happened in Uganda. Idi Amin asked his secretary for finance, or whatever they call him, to print money. The man said no and left the country. Some other person printed the money, and Uganda is still dead by now. You know why? Because he ruined that country and died. He has died, but Uganda is still dying. What happened in Uganda cannot be compared with what's happening in Nigeria now. And I can explain that. Sanusi Lamido has lamented it. He has come from oil perspective. He has come from printing currency perspective. He has come to the current CBN governance perspective. But the issue is, do we as Nigerians know what's happening to us? Do we know what's going to happen to us next year if we continue in this line? No. So my submission is that let's invest in education. Let's let our people understand what's going on, because what is going on now, Dr. Shegun, is something that we cannot fathom. We cannot even handle it when it begins to drop. And he said it already. People are killing people for 5,000 naira. All they need to say,
Anita just told us someone who was ready to sell his kidney.
Yes, absolutely. On the streets of Lagos, you see this area, but they do this and do this. You want to kill somebody, pay me 5,000.
Oh, boy.
If you want to take somebody's life, give me 5. I'm not kidding. So if we have come to the point where human life costs 5,000 naira, think about this thing continuing for the next 5 years or 10 years. We're in a mess.
Wow.
We
Thank you.
are in a mess.
Let me fly to Milan, Mark. Now we're getting the true picture. I was in Zimbabwe a few years ago, and when I was leaving my hotel room, I gave what I thought was a substantial amount to the young woman cleaning the room. I was checking out. So I said, let me give her this 1 million Zim dollar. And I thought I was giving her money. And she looked at me. She said, sir, take it back. Please give me $1. $1. But this Zim $1 million, please take it back, sir. And I'm not joking. And I said, you prefer $1 to these millions? She said, yes. So I looked into my bag. I gave her $5, and she was like, this is the best thing has happened to her. Mark, Okowa, a governor, said the Nigerian government is just printing money like the Ugandan Idi Amin, like Zim, like Mugabe, Zimbabwe. I was at the death place where they pack all their deaths and black bean bags in Zimbabwe, and I saw their currency in the beans. We are printing money just like that. The governor said so, not me. You think we're inching to that place, especially if APC should win again?
Doc, we are. In fact, it's just small tip. We go down. Nigeria's spiral debt crisis is worsening every minute. We are owing everybody. We are owing IMF. We are owing World Bank. We are owing everybody. Chinese. We are owing. Nigeria is rapidly becoming the flashpoint of African debt crisis. So African debt, Nigeria will be the what you use as the flashpoint. It's crazy, Dr. Shegun. And the sad thing is the government placed the wrong people to manage our finance. I mean, I went through Minister of Finance resume, and I don't see anything intelligent that she has acquired as knowledge. Yes, so that's why we could have. There's a terminology the wise man used. He said, "Round peg in a square hole." So we have people that don't have an idea of what the office they sit, and they are there. So it's a sad thing, and a breakdown of the crisis is a big one. But we won't go into those breakdowns. But we are owing everybody. And Sir George,
the federal government is owing, the state governments are owing, the local governments are owing. Yes. Well, let me ask Anita. Anita was introducing herself as someone who is saying, take your power back. Anita, you saw how a new government came in. Within 44 days, they destroyed the economy of the British government, the British society. And within the 44 days, the powers within her party took the power back from her. You are talking about take your power back, and you are talking to the younger ones, you are talking to the older ones. How do you think we can make it possible for people to have the kind of understanding where they will put a real serious sword into the economic problem and do a surgery and cut away the cancer and say we are taking our power back, without people just dancing away their lives and not realizing that they're going to be in fire very soon?
Thank you so much, Dr. Shegun, for that. It all boils down to information. I remember somebody says lack of education. So we need to spend time, sensitizing our people, changing the mindset they already have, that nothing good can ever come out of our country. If you're able to change a man's mindset, making him understand how great he is, how great he can turn a raw material into something tangible, that's the way forward for that person. And it all boils down to creating campaigns, getting different people involved. It could be influencers, because most times when they want to send messages, for people to believe them, they try to introduce their celebrities. There's this mindset. Africans, we love celebrities a lot. Once somebody is a celebrity, you believe the person even more than your own family member, even if the person is not sending out the right message, just because you feel this person is a public figure. So you involve people like the celebrities to, carry out campaigns that has to do with sensitizing the youth, the young ones, and even the older ones from the grassroots. Because it all begins to, from the grassroots. When the grassroots is healed, that mindset of, okay, I don't even want to know who the president of the country is. All I'm after is the fact that my table has some food. Or, we talked about that at the beginning of the show before we came on board, about the fact that certain people, they don't even mind just a cup of rice and they are good to go to sell their vote, their right, their conscience. So it all boils down to mindset.
Okay, I agree with you 100%. I remember Two-Face wanted to start a revolution. You remember he wanted to start a protest, and somewhere a day to the time he canceled it. I mean, everybody was geared up. Did you remember that?
That's correct.
When the Baba Two-Face, I think that's the correct name,
Yes.
and
Yes.
Two-Face, and everybody was ready to support him, but somebody went to him, "You will be ruined. Don't try it." And so celebrity failed. But we've also seen other celebrities like Davido, who believed in his uncle and was campaigning for him until he became a governor. So we have seen the two sides. We've seen the two sides, and we've seen like people like Charlie Boy. Charlie Boy is always there representing the youth. And so I believe what you have seen. And for those of us who are older, what's the name of that singer? It's going to be with the Lord now, from Edo State, who sang so many songs on Southwest.
Magic
Fashion.
No. The Edo State man. He sang on
Victor Wifo.
The next one to Victor Wifo. Anyway, he sang a lot about the issue. So I agree with you. We can go that way, but at the same time, people can chicken out. Before we leave this topic, Sir George, let me just read what Professor Dakron of Oxford University said, which I want us to see. He's an outsider. He's saying what we know, but he's now articulating it within academic conceptualizations. Now, he said he has interacted with Nigeria's national economic managers in the past 15 years. He ruled the excessive personalization of the commonwealth of the country by a few individuals, noting that the country has a rare opportunity to change and rewrite its history or emerge as the country with the highest number of poor people in 2030. So his point is that these few elites, they're the ones manipulating the economy of Nigeria, and they are even defrauding the Commonwealth nations. And when you look at the stolen oil and how the thing is dying down, you look at how they are ready to spend trillions of naira to emerge the president of this country, then you know that only very few. This professor is saying that you have to break through this elite bargain, a below syndrome. Yes, Sir George.
It is what you call, we say that Nigeria needs a revolution, political revolution, financial revolution, and we need all kinds of revolution in Nigeria. When you are, what is happening today, because there is something insidious that has been going on in Nigeria for the longest that nobody knows about. A lot of elite politicians believe that this is their last chance, this administration. And what they have been doing in the past few years, the revenue we are getting is being stored somewhere, is being diverted out, and they are borrowing money in place of that revenue that they are moving out and storing for that emergency time that will come. It's been happening A lot of people are not knowing it because it's all among within them, because they believe that because of the exposure of the corruption to the maximum level right now, that they will not be able to continue with the narratives. Therefore, the government is aware of it. They are moving all our money out. The revenues are coming in. That's why we are borrowing, because the only way to hide what you're taking out is when you borrow to replace it. Therefore, they are putting the country in such a debtful situation.
Sir George, the question is this: why are there not people within the elite who will say this is wrong? They told Margaret Thatcher, "You must leave." She left. They told Boris Johnson, I'm talking of Conservative Party, those within their own oligarchy, you must leave. They left. Liz Truss, get out. She got out. Why can't we get such people within this elite in our own system?
Because it's the mother, they call it the mother nature law. The ground is never satisfied with the number of bodies that go into it. The point is, when you get in and you become a different voice altogether, they will eliminate you. I remember specifically carrying $1 million in a bag because we wanted to go and share it. And the security details asked me and say, this is not the way we do things. And I say, I don't understand. These are the men that are supposed to be guarding me. And they said to me, all you do is go into the envelope, each stack, you can take 10 bills out to take care of us because this is our money. They believe it was their money. And I told them I cannot do it. They say that's the reason why they trust you. You say this money, you will give it to these people. They will put it into the safe deposit box. They don't even count it. And I refuse to do it. I refuse to. So that is the type of thing that you are seeing in Nigeria. You get up, you want to be a different voice altogether. They will either silence you, they will destroy you, they will kill you if you do not follow them. And that's what's been going on. So now, it is going to come from the bottom up. It can never come from top bottom. It can never. The nation will say, no more, as far, no further. If we say no, it is no. And we will continue. Look at what's happening in Iran today. That's what we need in Nigeria.
All right.
Begin to go to these elites that are stealing our money, and we begin to demand accountability, not from the court of law, but by revolution. And by jungle justice, that is the only way it will ever happen.
All right, thank you. Before we go on a break, which is coming very shortly, Dr. Sita, I'm coming out from Nigeria in the last 1 hour, and I'm in the plane. I was saying to myself, democracy cannot solve a problem, revolution can. That's what I took. And Sir George was just taking the word out of my mouth. Why am I coming to that conclusion? Because if you ask the fish to come and contest with the monkey in how to jump on trees, I mean, the fish has failed. Equally, if you ask the monkey to come and swim in the ocean and see who will win in a contest, the monkey has lost. So when you ask the young people, the strong people, the academics to come and compete with politicians in their domain, I mean, they have lost. And that is the trap they have brought us. Come and contest. NSAS, leave the revolution. Come and contest. Now they've gone to contest. They see that the water is different. Dr. Sita, you think there's a way to get out of this?
Yes. Yes. And yes. About 2 weeks ago, Sanusi, the former CBN governor, was in Kaduna for the Card Invest. He did exactly what we're doing now. He cursed the elites. They were all clapping for him. They were all clapping. As a matter of fact, Tinubu was there. He said, "You people stole. You people have killed this country." Everybody was clapping. You know why they're clapping? Because it's a show. They see it as a show. It is business as usual. All right, Sanusi, intelligent man, you've said it all. Let's go to the back door. Let's go to the back door. Let's go and share it. The truth about our country is that we are up the creek without a paddle. We know that we want to sail a boat. We don't have a paddle to push water so that the boat will go forward. So what is the youth going to do? Stay steadfast on this course. This is our last chance, and I mean this with all the life that I have. If we fail to get it right,
Obaseki said so. He said, elect APC again and the country will decide. I did say it is Obaseki, well published.
Exactly. Let's not do this. Let's not make this mistake again because they think it's a joke, and this joke must stop.
All right, we'll go for a short break. When we return, we want to look at the disaster in Anambra, in Benue, in Bayelsa, parts of rivers, and how Nigeria has turned into a massive flood. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Hi there, I'm Mary Keurig, and I am a businesswoman in the United States, but I'm also the Global Content Vice President for the Sub-Saharan Open University in Nigeria. I could not be prouder to work with Dr. Osita Anamika and his team on helping to create not just entrepreneurs and skill-based talent that will get out into the workforce and make a living for themselves, but also young leaders. And to that end, with this integrity-rich university environment that's accredited now, and it's just an amazing opportunity for anyone there of any age to jump on board and learn, we want to let you know about a new offering that we have. We have a global governance and diplomacy course now provided by a whole team of people that crosses several countries to put together these resources and lots of great information for those of you who might be on the path toward public service and diplomatic service, NGO leadership, that sort of thing. We hope that you will walk through this open door and enjoy.
When I wrote the book, The Final Solution, the Lord gave me some things in the spirit realm to see going to happen here. And that is why you need to get a copy of this book, not because of the purchase, but because of the contents. We've not spent 2 weeks. Now we have seen the problem in Ukraine, Russia, and Belarus, Donetsk, Luhansk, and all the other surrounding nations, talk less of the Western countries and the Eastern countries. We want to pray that this stops where it is. Some people are even imagining a third world war. I pray that there'll be no third world war. But we need to know the solution to all of these problems, and they are well packaged in that book, The Final Solution. The amount of money is next to nothing. Go to Amazon and buy this book. Go to the Kindle, go to KDP and buy this book. It's very important. So it is in Amazon and Kindle. And of course you can purchase the paperback, but it's not about the money. It's about the contents to have solution to Ukraine, to Russia, to the West, to the East, and indeed all parts of the world. Do get a copy and let's start operating the solution of God to our time.
Thanks for staying with us. It's News Echoes. For a while now, the whole of Nigeria, it appears, has been submerged underwater. But we have specifically in Anambra State, in Benue State, in Bayelsa State, parts of River State, and it's like it was the first time it ever happened, but never. It's been happening. It's only that ecological fund has been stolen, we were told, and now where they have to face the consequences, especially those who live in riverine areas. Now, before I ask my colleagues, I'm told that flooding is in Nigeria is usually caused by the following: climate change, river overflowing, dam opening, current poor urban planning practices, poor drainage system, and not spending all the money allocated to drainage system. Who comes from a state that is under flood there? Dr. Godwin Ibe, how are you doing, sir? All the way from Russia.
Good day, everyone. Thank you for having me. Good day, viewers. We are good
Are
over
you from
here. All
Delta
is
or
good.
Benue? Let me see whether I should start from you now. You have not been submerged in Russia, have
Of course not.
you?
Of course not.
But
But in any case, there's no way you won't be infected in a good way with the pleasant culture and environment, and also our, Nigerian culture also affecting the lives of people over here. It's a two-way
yeah,
relationship.
okay, okay. I know you love Russia. Me too. I'm coming your way very soon. But you've heard of the flood going on in Nigeria, some parts of Nigeria.
Yes, yes, of course. It's terrible. It's a tragedy. It's just not just the fact that it happened, but the level of preparedness and the emergency services. I saw some videos of the Navy doing some work in terms of rescuing people. I commend that effort. We also have to commend good efforts when we see them. But with the level of loss of lives and the loss of businesses, putting more people into abject poverty, from one level of poverty to another, it's unacceptable. And we need to do more in terms of being prepared, because natural disasters can be force majeures. They could be, for example, I read about companies not delivering oil and LNG even to Europe because of this incident. It's clearly a force majeure. It can happen. But the level of preparedness in terms of emergency services, and once again infrastructure, when you have infrastructure, the main way, the backup auxiliary infrastructures, in case there's a failure, more like redundancy, like you have. Even the human body has redundancy. We have superficial arteries, we have deep arteries. The same way everywhere, you have to have the level of preparedness, redundancy to take
You
care of.
think the government have a portion of the blame there for not getting prepared before this day?
Well, I think everyone knows that it's far from the best. I don't think, I'm not here to um, basically just criticize them, because we all have a common goal. If we want the interest of Nigeria, then we should be able to self-evaluate our steps so far, find out where can we improve. There's a very, very large room for improvement, and the improvement will be seen in the reduction of lives lost, in the reduction of businesses that go offline, the reduction of people being sent into poverty, the reduction of people's life being changed, the availability of new housing and shelter for those who have been rendered homeless. These are objective
Okay,
criteria for which
I agree with
we
you.
can
I
measure.
agree with you. Dr. Sita, you are on the ground. You're on the ground in Nigeria, and it
You
appears
just
that your
you just
internet just took you away from the ground. And well, Sir George, now
Yes.
we've all seen this thing all over the place, and should we have been in this position?
I don't think we should have been. I mean, right now we are, and that is the major disaster that we are facing. I think it was a preventable situation, if all things being equal, the people who were in charge have been taking care of the business the way they're supposed to. I mean, situations like this will always occur, but how ready are you? Have you ignored the problem so much that it become to the point of crisis right now? So the point,
Mm.
if you look at the ramifications and the consequences of what is going on in Nigeria, the problem we have, someone once said, you cannot think the same way speak the same language, and expect a different result. There must be a paradigm shift in the way that we think. And especially when situations like this happen. Yes, indeed, we're not here to blame, but we need to blame so that the next person who is going to be in charge or that person who allowed this situation to come must take note, because if you don't put blames where it does belong, tomorrow somebody else will get into that situation and then it will happen again. Think about it. In Bayelsa today, because of the liquefied gas, people are now suffering all over Nigeria because liquefied gas is not being shipped out. So people have to go and fetch, wood to cook. Even the areas where gas is not being affected, where the water is not being affected. Kogi State, they are one of the people that manufacture our food. So right now being flooded, food scarcity, it is happening. Prices are going up. Is this something that we must ignore or call somebody to order and say, listen, this is what you should have done. If you have done this and this and this, that will not happen again. But this is what we're facing in Nigeria today. So now when this particular wave goes over, another government or another person will come in and then the same mistakes will be made.
Yeah,
what are we doing?
Especially where they see the ecological fund as money to be stolen. Anita, is anything happening in Lagos physically? You think there is flooding in Lagos beyond what we've seen in past years?
Absolutely. A place called, I think, Okoba was affected. A lot of
Yes, Okwaba, yeah.
homes emerged, yes, Okoba area of Lagos, and a whole lot of people lost their lives, properties, and their businesses as well. Yes. So some part of
And
Lagos was
was it business as usual? The government just took it like that. I mean, nobody is complaining, or they complain on social media and that's it.
they tried to visit some areas. They put in some, number of team to go reach out to the communities that were affected, and some NGOs as well. They took it upon themselves to reach out because a whole lot of people are being displaced, as a result of the flood situation.
Okay.
It's actually something that can be controlled, like you mentioned, because some persons were saying is because Nigerians didn't create the counter dam that was supposed to stop the one coming all the way from Cameroon. So that's the speculations going on. So they are trying to blame Cameroonians for opening their dam and
I remember that
yes,
story.
that's
Yeah, we are shifting the blame on Cameroon. Thank you. I'm just
there's always
mindful of the time, and we have one or two topics more. Dr. Osita, I know you're on the ground. I was looking up for you. Delta State was submerged, and tell us more. Osita, or is the network again that is submerged now? Dr.
Okay,
Osita, can you hear me?
I think it's his network again.
I think it's full.
Yeah, I think he's back now. Dr. Sita, are you back? Oh, there's a fault somewhere there. Mark, I know you are from Imo State. I shouldn't tell the whole world, but there's something happening in Imo.
No. The flood is ravaging everywhere. Even places that is not real impact, we still have some kind of effect. Like Sir George said, there's interwoven activities going between states in Nigeria, mostly the south of Nigeria. So some of these places where this flood has taken over, you can't ship things, you can't send goods, you can't make businesses have shut down. So it's affecting everybody. But the sad thing is, instead of water resources, is saying this is still not it doesn't call for emergency, for humanitarian emergency. So we begin to wonder what he means by that, because so far as of last week, we had 715 people dead. 715
Wow.
that have died as a result of it. That's as of last week. So obviously the numbers grow. And we have close to 200,000 homes and 100 and something hectares of land, farmland that have been damaged and been destroyed, taken over by flood.
And over a million displaced. Yeah.
And 5 million displaced. So we begin to wonder what this means. Go ahead, sir. Right.
Dr. Osita, raise up your hand if you are hearing me now. I want to see your right hand if you can hear me. Yes. Dr. Osita, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes, I can. Can you see my hand up? I can hear you.
Let me tell you my experience when I was the Secretary Senate Committee on Natural Disasters. That was in 1982. And there was the same kind of flooding. And we went to Anambra State and went to Bayelsa State, and all those areas. They were not yet demarcated. So, and I was the secretary of the Senate committee. We took money and went down there, took pictures, listened to the chiefs and the leaders of the society there. I just want to say, when I returned to my hotel that day, the king sent for me and said, please, when the National Assembly allocates money, don't give it to the governors. It will never get to us. Give some to the governor, give some to the kings. We are the ones on the ground. And then some other secretary of associations called me behind. You see, when the money comes, let it come to our association. We will do you good. Are you hearing me? I'm telling you, this happened to me, not a thought. Now, what I'm trying to say, Dr. Osita, has corruption led us to this flooding or not?
It has. Let me explain further what my God was saying. Suleiman Adamu, Minister for Water Resources, says this is not an emergency. The man in Moscow saw the Navy working in Bayelsa, the Navy, Nigerian Navy, and you say it's not an emergency. It's sad. What can be worse than corruption? Because the ruling government does not want to spend ecological funds, they are not mentioning it because the money is gone. The money is gone. And then from where they are borrowing, George said it, they are parking money somewhere so that they can take away. Nobody wants to dip hand into any money now that the election is tomorrow to do anything in Nigeria. This is killing me. The issue at stake now is not that we have crisis, but we have a government that does not care. The man flew away to South Korea to go and talk about climate change that could not be spelled. Meanwhile, we are flooded in our country. Come on. We are flooded. We are underwater. Dino Malaya's house, you can swim in the living rooms and you drown there. Come on now. We were talking about failed states before now, but now we have gone under. I live here and I know what it means. And Anita will bear me out. We are in a mess. We are drowning. We are drowning. And this country might not be able to...
I understand the house of ex-president Goodluck Jonathan has been submerged as well.
Yes.
And we saw the governor of Bayelsa interviewing the mother of ex-president.
Yes.
It was very shameful. We saw the house of Dino Melaye, a place of a palace being, we saw all these things.
3 living rooms with 52 cars. Yes.
By the way,
well. We just have to move on. We have to move on. Sorry, Godwin, I want to bring you to Godwin. I really want to bring you to. I'm talking of Dr. Ibe. I really want to bring you to insecurity and campaign. The two major governments of the world, the United States of America and the British government, they came out to say that there's insecurity in Nigeria and that their citizens should not move out except very essential. In fact, there have been so many things they have listed out and that they suspect there could be terrorist bombing and things like that in the last few days. And now the it was released that the federal government may be hinting that they may suspend campaign election and eventually suspend voting in on February 25 for the presidential candidate. Uh, do you think, of course, Obi, Atiku, and Tinubu, the three of them have said, please don't suspend campaign election, increase the security of the area. Why are you suspending? Are you suspecting something sinister, or should we agree with these governments, these international governments, or what? What's going on?
Yes, very good question. First of all, the announcement by the major government is just purely symbolic. There has been heightened insecurity for a long time, and there's no news. It's like saying Coke is black. There's nothing new about that. We have executive of companies that are getting kidnapping insurance for their staffs. All these multinational companies, they have kidnapping insurance for their employees. They drive in armored cars, armored vehicles. And the governor of Kaduna said there's a parallel government run by terrorists. What's new? Nothing new. So it's opportunistic. It's using this um, flawed natural disaster event to announce something that they have always wanted to announce, and just announce it. It's clear that Nigeria has been going through insecurity challenge for a very long time. Now, concerning campaign, um, yes, everyone is after their own pockets. We have seen I've seen Peter Obi calling for suspending campaign. That's recommendable, and it's actually the right thing to do, to focus on trying to resolve and to put all efforts towards resolving the crisis. It's definitely a cause for emergency measures and force majeure. If companies are declaring force majeures, Navy is involved, then it's definitely an emergency incident. But concerning the candidates that are calling for just increasing security while you do campaign, I mean, I want to ask them: do they plan to do campaign on boats, or do they plan to do campaign on the water, or are they comfortable telling people that that they have change when they cannot lead by example, especially in this period? It's like saying that you are 700 plus people have died, 1.3 million people have been displaced. Well, that is not so important, but when I become president, I'm going to make sure that this doesn't happen. Well, this is a great example to lead by opportunity, by example. The money that's being channeled into funds can be used to
What if, on the
settle.
other hand, Dr. Ebe, what if, on the other hand, the present government wants to elongate his own rule
Yeah,
by capitalizing on
I've actually
insecurity?
thought of that. I've actually thought of that, even though I don't have enough evidence for that at the moment. But Nigerians are clearly fed up with what's going on with the state of affairs, and prolonging it beyond 2023 will bring more instability, elongation of suffering, could lead to the collapse of Nigeria as we know it today. So it's a very terrible idea. If that's being considered, there's not enough evidence right now, but if it's being considered, it's a very terrible idea, and it's a great opportunity for candidates to lead by example.
Well, thank you, God. Dr. Uh, Judge in Toronto. What if they elongated their period? You think anything could stop them? You think anything could stop them? We saw Jonathan change the date of election. Of course, eventually it happened. But what if they say insecurity and something that you think is impossible?
Okay, listen to this, and I will beg for you to pardon me, because this started about 2 years ago, when the current government were removing every other minister, federal minister, and replacing them with a particular group of people. Go today and check the number of ministers in the roster and tell me where they come from. One, that was a strategy. Look at the military today and tell me the generals and those that are in power ruling, and having our guns in their possession, ready to move at any moment. Tell me who they are. When you think about what is happening currently in Nigeria, it is something that has been planned by a certain group of people, because number one, the truth is coming out to the surface, and they know that this is their last chance, that things changing that will affect favorably to the whole Nigeria, their ill might come out. I ask you this question to think about that, because what is happening is, right now as we speak, if the world will accept it, that if Nigerians will be muted not to, they will move, they want to hijack the government.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Honestly,
let me
like
finish
Dr.
what I'm saying. One second.
Okay.
So what's happening right now is, because of the insecurity in Nigeria, when they brought this conversation out, they threw it out there to see the acceptance level, to see if everybody would just say, no, it cannot happen, we will revolt if it happens. If everybody is muted and everybody is calm and nobody's saying anything, they will increase the tempo. And before you know it, that's exactly what is going to happen.
Oh,
go ahead.
Anita, you've had them. Dr. Ibe said there are no concrete evidence right now, but Sir George said this thing is a script playing out. Do you think we have enough momentum from the youth to say that we're not going to agree if normal, fair, and free election is not held come February 25?
I'm just gonna do like a flashback to the NSAS situation.
Okay.
Right now, the youth are scared because I remember when the plan, I think, a movement for obedience in Lagos recently, we wanted to campaign, and they had to go. That security personnel were put around the toll gates. They were not allowed to cross the toll gate. So some of the youths, yes, they are coming out, yes, they are screaming on social media. But when the deal day come, that's the question I keep asking. How many of them are ready to put their lives on the line again, knowing fully that when they come out to exercise their franchise, they might be disrupted? We've seen situations where the gubernatorial candidate for PDP and his crew were affected. Okay, they were attacked. Their train, their campaign train, and he escaped narrowly. So these kind of situations happening, attacks here and there, it has a kind of it's inflicting fear in the lives of people. They're asking questions. Are these politicians worth dying for? Do I really want to lose my life because I want, the right person to be in power? And that's where these other guys are having kind of strength, because they feel by the time they inflict fear, nobody will come out to vote. So they will be back in power.
Yeah, we're just rounding up now, Anita. I'm so sorry to cut you short. Dr. Sita, you've listened to Dr. Ibe, you've listened to Sir George. Where are you in this spectrum? You think there could be some sinister moves come next year? Unmute.
Yes, the plan is on for sinister moves, but the truth is that the youth is taking Anita's guard. The youth is getting ready. Don't joke with these young people. This is what they know now. They are standing behind themselves, fortifying themselves for next year. Believe me, I know what I'm talking about, but there is no point really now the plans or talking about it now. What has happened in this country is so bad that it is time for change. Thank you.
Mark, where are you in the spectrum? You think we will have election, or you think somebody will hide under insecurity and say, let's postpone it for 1 year or 2 years? It has happened in this country before.
Well, the election will go ahead, but there's an underground move. It's sure to happen. But election will go ahead because INEC has spent so much. Federal government has allocated a lot of money to INEC. INEC is doing a lot now. billions are being spent for election materials. So that can't go under. It can't go under. But something sinister is coming up. It's brewing, like they all said. Yes, but
Well,
election.
I don't see why the APC government will want to undermine itself. They are sure they are sure that they will win, and so why will they want to undermine themselves? But if someone else within outside or rather outside of their group may win, you never can know what will happen. But ladies and gentlemen, this is where we will leave it today. It's been wonderful having Anita with us in the midst of all these men. Thank you very much. You've held your position, and we're very grateful. I just have to tell the rest of the world that on Friday, when we meet at NEWA, we'll be talking about what is happening in the British government, Rishi Sunak, and how far has he fared in his first 72 hours. And we will be talking about Zelensky and Putin. We understand Putin is ill. I want Dr. Ibi, please do everything to be in this at the meeting. Is it true Putin is ill or somebody is lying about it? I want to thank you all the way from Toronto, Sir George, Mark in Milan, Dr. Sita from Abuja. My name is Shegun Johnson. Until we meet again on Friday discussing international.